Now we've reached the point where we have all of our seasoning made, we have our ribs prepped, and we're going to season them. But before I get to seasoning them, I like to take a little bit of extra virgin olive oil and I put a thin layer on top. I rub it in and then I start adding my seasoning. This helps the seasoning adhere a little bit, and I do believe it helps with the crust during the smoking process. We'll just take a little bit and make a nice little line down the middle here. Rub that in. It doesn't have to be a whole lot, just a little bit, and it'll kind of get the seasonings to cake on a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is get all of them seasoned up, and then I'm going to wrap them and let them sit overnight. So they're going to get a good 10 hours of rest with the seasonings on them before I put them in the smoker. So I've taken our seasonings and I've mixed them all together, and now it's time to apply. We apply seasonings liberally because we want that flavor to soak in, and you're going to lose a little bit as we go. Let's take a little paddle here. I don't like to stick my wet hands into the mix and cause it to cake up prematurely. As you can see, I put down a nice layer of butcher's paper. I do this so that it's easier to clean up, and if I need to recoup any of my seasonings, it's easy to do. Try to get a little bit into every little nook and cranny. I don't worry about getting the bones too much. I think some people like to get the seasoning all around into the bones, but I feel like they sweat the most moisture and we lose most of it through there, so I don't worry too much about it. As long as you've got a good rub, you'll have plenty of flavor. Now here we are. I have the racks fully seasoned. I've stacked them up on each other so that the flavors can soak in, and a little bit of that pressure helps to push the salt and the seasonings into the meat. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just wrap it in cling wrap all the way around so that the air can't dry it out, and then I'll put it in the fridge overnight. Okay, now we're done until tomorrow morning. I'll be getting up at 5 a.m. to get all of these started, and then hopefully we'll be having dinner by 7 p.m. If everything goes well, we'll have some juicy, tender ribs, and our faces and our hands will be a mess, but by God, we'll be smiling.